There are times in science when silence speaks louder than the loudest explosion, and this instance was one of those times. It was not an asteroid, a dying star, or even a forming galaxy that triggered the alarm. It was the silence itself. The James Webb Space Telescope, positioned 1 million miles from Earth, had been investigating what was presumed to be a barren, lifeless area of space, a void on the cosmic map among galaxies. What it discovered shattered this belief. In the universe's quietest corner, the telescope identified a shadow that neither emitted nor reflected light, it absorbed it. Then, something even more peculiar occurred. The darkness moved. Slowly. Purposefully. Almost as if it was aware of being observed. What Webb captured next compelled astrophysicists, cosmologists, and mathematicians to discard established theories of reality. It was not a comet, pulsar, or black hole. It was entirely different. It behaved as if it thinks, reacts, and perhaps even remembers. The investigation began during the Deep Field Survey near the Aerodana supervoid, a vast and enigmatic region known for its cold spots and sparse galaxy presence. As Webb calibrated its infrared sensors for a galaxy mapping venture, it detected an anomaly, far too symmetrical to be natural, yet too chaotic to be artificial. Instead of identifying galaxies or interstellar gas, it discovered a perfect circle of silence. No light escaped from it. No light bent around it. This wasn't gravitational lensing, it resembled an area of the universe that had been entirely excised. Like introducing ink into a glass of water and watching the water itself disappear. This was not merely a void of matter, it represented a void of physical law. Initial hypotheses proposed a novel type of black hole, but the mathematics did not support it. There were no X-ray emissions, no gravitational waves, just a chilling, dark stillness. Over several days, the outer edge of the anomaly began to fluctuate, not like something in orbit, but like something alive. Researchers started examining the light echoes surrounding it, and their findings were even more disturbing. The flickering was not random. It pulsed at precise intervals that aligned with prime numbers, 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, as if the object were transmitting a signal. However, it was neither electromagnetic nor radio nor infrared or any known frequency. It was a disturbance in spacetime itself. Webb's most delicate gyroscopes noted microscopic alterations in reality with each pulse, as if the object were influencing the very fabric of the universe. This fundamentally challenged astrophysical principles. Or perhaps it ridiculed them. Mathematicians and quantum physicists scrutinized the data, concluding the pulses displayed intent, marks of design. No known entity behaves this way. The precision was surgical, and the rhythm too consistent to be mere coincidence. It seemed not only alive but also conscious. Then came the startling revelation. 27 days after the initial detection, the entity shifted. Not through space but through dimensions. It vanished from one position and reappeared just 0.004 degrees away, imperceptible to the human eye, yet disastrous for astronomical calculations. This movement disregarded the speed of light and defied the very nature of time. The only parallel found was within quantum theory, where entangled particles react instantaneously across vast distances, but this was not on a subatomic scale. Its size was comparable to a small moon. Simulations of its movements unveiled a more frightening discovery. The reappearances traced a spiral pattern directed toward Earth. By the fourth month of research, the inquiry shifted from whether it was dangerous to whether it was thinking. Geometric patterns began to emerge around it, fractal designs mimicking neural networks. The designs adapted as Webb observed, responding to the telescope's orientation and correcting themselves in real time. Scientists termed it responsive geometry. Some theorized it could be a dimensional antenna, or a sentient construct, anchored in space, awaiting further interaction. An AI designed to decode extraterrestrial patterns malfunctioned when fed Webb's findings. It froze, looped, and ultimately returned a single word in its error report: recognized. No one wished to voice it aloud, but the implication was evident. This was not merely a discovery. While gathering additional data, the Webb team observed something unexpected, not within the object itself, but in its surrounding space. A subtle yet unmistakable faint shift in background radiation surfaced, initially imperceptible. This was not the recognized cosmic microwave background or localized stellar bursts. Instead, the signal echoed the object's pulses, albeit with a delay, akin to an auditory reflection. Spectral analysis revealed something even more concerning. The signal showcased harmonic layers, frequencies organized in nested intervals resembling musical chords. Some dubbed it the "Song of the Void," though others were less lyrical. A pattern of this nature is nearly impossible to occur naturally. This indicated the presence of a deliberate mechanism, in contrast to the disarray of stellar activity. More alarmingly, the harmonics slightly adjusted based on Webb's position, suggesting a chilling notion: the signal was interactive. It was not merely broadcasting, it was actively listening. A group of theoretical mathematicians was enlisted to examine the pulse timing. In their structure lay something unexpected, a mathematical constant previously absent in any recognized cosmic phenomenon: the Lemur prime spiral, an intriguing arrangement of prime numbers that has captivated number theorists due to its enigmatic link to natural patterns. Here, it emerged precisely replicated within the intervals between distortions. Some theorists believed it represented a universal language, akin to a mathematical Rosetta Stone, intentionally left behind. If true, the architect of this arrangement possessed profound insight into reality's fundamental structures. Yet, what followed was even harder to accept. Mapping the sequence in 3 dimensions unveiled a helix remarkably similar to the double helix of human DNA. Initially, this might have been dismissed as coincidence, until calculations revealed that the pulse timing intervals coincided with the genetic codons in our biology. It was no longer merely an observer in the darkness. The entity appeared to comprehend what it was monitoring. Perhaps it had been aware of us long before we recognized its presence. That's when changes began to occur. Publicly accessible Webb data streams experienced delays. Observatory logs mysteriously disappeared. Numerous leading scientists suddenly stepped down from their roles. Press releases grew vague, devoid of detail and increasingly evasive. Leaks from insiders indicated that multiple space agencies, including NASA and the European Space Agency, as well as private firms like Blue Origin and SpaceX, convened for emergency discussions. The concern was not merely that the object might be a threat, it was that no one could confirm it wasn't already among us. Theories proliferated. Was it a probe, a sentinel, or a beacon? Its emergence seemed suspiciously timed, only after we developed the means to detect it. This could imply it had hidden in plain sight or had arrived only when we were ready. More worrisome was the realization that older space probes like Voyager and New Horizons had traversed the same area without any detection. This hinted at either cloaking from conventional instruments or its prior absence. On the 48th day of focused observation, just before Webb was about to shift focus, the anomaly vanished. All pulses ceased. Only silence remained. Yet, moments before its disappearance, Webb's sensors captured a final image, an unprecedented infrared composite. It was not merely a shadow or distortion, but a well-defined shape, symmetrical, angular, and perfectly proportioned, resembling a sigil suspended in the void. Captured for just 3 frames, too fleeting for thorough analysis, but artificial intelligence validated it was intentional. The shape comprised nested triangles, circles, and lines, creating a recursive geometric pattern. And then, just like that, it disappeared. Since that moment, silence prevails. The data remains intact. The stillness is palpable. Most unsettlingly, the possibility endures that it did not leave, it simply ceased to reveal itself. What did James Webb truly witness? Was it a silent observer in the darkness, a signal directed toward those perceptive, or reckless, enough to notice? Or could it have been a distortion in reality that we were never meant to decipher? The deeper we delve into the void, the stronger the sensation that the void gazes back. What we once believed was an empty expanse now feels like a reflective surface, and perhaps, Just perhaps, something on the other side has become aware of our presence. This situation transcends the realm of space. It raises the possibility that we have initiated a communication with an intelligence that conveys messages not through words, but through geometry, rhythm, and silence. The lingering question is whether it seeks to communicate or to caution us. One fact remains clear. James Webb did more than collect data. It unlocked a pathway. Whatever lies on the other side may transform our understanding, not solely of the universe, but also of our own existence.